As always, wonderful and beautiful, glorious day it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. It is a fantastic Friday. Absolutely, it is. It is August 28th. Oh, excuse me, not August 28th. It is August 29th, 2025. I said August 28th because of two things. Uh, Blessings and prayers and blessings and condolences goes out to the individuals. It was yesterday, um, the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Okay, that's the downside to it. So all prayers and condolences and respects go out to the families that were affected um, by that tragedy 20 years ago. Um, I was a freshman in high school when it happened, so I remember it like it was yesterday. But on a great note, yesterday also marked that I got swore in. I took the oath of office and got swore in. And officially, I am a probationary firefighter with the Houston Fire Department. So, um, hey, what's up, JJ? What's up, man? I got swore in yesterday. So it feels great. It feels absolutely amazing and wonderful and great. And I'm going to keep this live. I'm going to keep this live. I know this is supposed to be about trading and everything and stuff like that, but I like to be diverse and versatile. So y'all stay on. I'll be right back. We got some things to show you. All right. All right, my people. We're back. Like I said, we had yesterday. Uh, appreciate you, Ricky. Yesterday we had two ceremonies. There's a ceremony at the actual academy where we have a tower ceremony, um, and we did 10 push-ups in front of all our family members, and then went up the tower, put on our helmet, and I have my probationary shield that says probationary firefighter and station 28 on it, which is the station that I'll be working out of in the Galleria in Houston. So we also, when we go up the tower, we come down the tower, we get our nameplate that goes on the back of our gear. So yeah, this goes on the back of my firefighter coat, and yeah, it's a bittersweet moment because I began this journey 7 years ago with the Houston Fire Department. And I was in the long track class, and the long track class takes 9 months. And I went all the way through without missing a day. I went all the way through 8.5 months of training. I had to resign 3 weeks before graduating, um, due to department policy. So on the state fire exam, they have 4 individual sections that you have to pass with a 70% and above. I only passed 3 out of 4 the first time I took it, and then about 3 weeks later, a month later, I took the only section that I didn't pass, and I made a 68. So due to the department policy, I had to resign. They didn't. You don't get terminated. Terminated, you can't come back. So you resign, so you'll be eligible for rehire. So then on my exit interview, the district chief of training, Chief Hill, told me, he said, "Hey, I want to see you back. I want to see you back here." So obviously resigned, turned in all my stuff. That was a dart through the heart. It hurt. And so I was like, man, 8.5 months, 9 months of training going down the drain, waking up 3 a.m., getting there by 5:45 to be ready to PT for an hour and going through all this stuff is just down the drain. And so long story short, they said, hey, you have to come back fast track, which means you need both your EMT and your fire certification. And so I got the fire certification a few months later. And then I ended up working for a private EMS job and got terminated. So then when I reapplied, the termination, I put that on my application. The termination was only 3 months old. HR told me, hey, this has to be a year old. So I intentionally did not apply for any fire department around, city of Houston, because I want to go back with Houston Fire Department. So when I reapplied, after that termination was a year old, I went to go hoop with my family and friends and completely ruptured my patella tendon playing basketball. Couldn't get surgery right away. Didn't have any health insurance. Open enrollment came around, got surgery 11 months later. And then it was the week after the freeze that happened in February, and the freeze in 2021. Got my surgery, did 90 straight days of therapy on Tuesdays and Thursdays, didn't miss a day, didn't miss a beat. And I struggled to pass that 1.5 mile run. You got to have a 1.5 mile with 15 minutes or less. So on average, you have to run a 10-minute mile. Absolutely slow. Absolutely slow, but absolutely doable. You could speed walk a 10-minute mile. But that's a 2:30. That's a 2:30 pace. It's a 2:30 lap. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds for every lap. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't run. I couldn't push off. Now, granted, before the surgery, before I ruptured my patella tendon, I was running a sub 7-minute mile. My fastest mile was 6:46. Now you got to realize I'm used to working out. I couldn't work out because of my knee and stuff like that. And then now I was able to reapply. I did private EMS at a company for 5 years just to stay in the, around the EMS game. And then I reapplied and I kept digging in. I kept attempting, and 2 days before I had failed it already previously twice, but third time I attempted, that Wednesday I did a 14:51 mile and a half run on my own, like my personal time. And then 2 days later, I did a 14:35. So I got in there and I was able to keep up with it. Now, the fastest 1.5 miles I've done to date since I've been through the whole academy is a 13:57, which is my personal best since my knee surgery. So I'm happy about that. I got to build upon that with the mentality of my traumatic injury. But long story short, started June 23rd, graduated August 28th, and here I am. And Chief Hill, as I shook his hand, walked across the stage, shook his hand. He said, "Hey, Davis, long time coming, huh?" I said, "Congratulations." So, hey, anybody I delayed but not denied 7-year journey. I kid you not, feel like I got a degree. It feels great to be a part of the brotherhood, a part of the fraternity of the Houston Fire Department. It feels absolutely wonderful. So got this certificate. Oops, let me paste that back in. Got this certificate of a completion. That shows I completed the 640-hour firefighter training course. 640 hours. So, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And in a short period of time, in 2 months, I'm talking about you didn't get no time to, like, especially in the fast track, you don't get enough time, like, to repetition and practice. It's like, hey, you touch it once and then, hey, let's get to it. So, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, I'm about to go ahead and show you that this was my badge. This was my badge that says trainee, which means I'm in training. And today, I got the updated badge. Got the updated badge that now says probationary firefighter EMT. Probationary firefighter EMT. So this is now a thing of the past as of yesterday. And this is current. All right. So I'm just keep these badges. Got the clip. Gonna place the clip on it and slide my badge through instead of having this on this little holder. But I can wear it either which way. I can wear it either which way. But let's just say this wasn't about firefighting. This live is not about firefighting. It's about trading. So but I appreciate everybody that took time out, put on my story, personally texting me, who wanted to attend and couldn't attend. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out and actually, your busy schedule and saying, hey, congratulations. I appreciate that. I don't take that lightly. But here we go with Bitcoin. Obviously, gold is a cut off because it's past 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it's closed for the week. But Bitcoin keeps rolling. All right. So absolutely have my stop loss too close. On this particular Bitcoin trade right here, because I zoned this out on the 4-hour time frame. I said this was a redistribution right here. See how I have this on the 15-minute time frame? This blue is placed on the 4-hour time frame. I said, hey, this is a redistribution. And I see that price is going to go down based off the way it's printing. So I seen the pullback. I seen the ABC pullback to this level. So you had right here, you had an unmitigated engulfing candlestick. Boom, price created is low. You have an ABC correction and accumulation, reaccumulation that goes back to the supply zone, and then bam, produces another engulfing candlestick, which then continues to do what? Drop and drown. And I'm talking about, oh my goodness, just melts. And I was shooting for a 1 to 10, or at least shooting to this area right here, or past this low, this 4-hour low, to create a new low. So obviously this is a break of structure, price pullback, retracement, found a supply zone, then did what? Broke this low, created a new low. That's another break of structure. Okay. So you got to realize, are your break of structures internal or external? If it's external, obviously it's swing. If it's internal, it's probably intraday. It's intraday. So you got to pay attention to what high and what low is broken. Is the lower high that broken inside or outside? Is it external, internal? Like right here, this is external. All of this is on the outside. Outside. Now, you can have break of structures that do this. Like, say, for instance, if this was the low, that's the outside, the external low, and price decides to do this. Respect this low and then go up. Now, guess what? This right here is a break of structure, but that's not external. That's internal. All of this right there, this low, this high, this low, this high, this low, that's external. This right here is inside. That's an internal break of structure. So which means it may be part of a pullback and not a change of trend. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Shout out to the 3 individuals that's on the live. Does that make sense? So you got to pay attention to what's an internal breaker structure, which is right here, the one I just drew. And these right here are external breaker structures. They're on the outside. They're not inside. All right. And so pay attention to how I'm going to erase this and I'm going to erase like the majority of this right here, not the whole thing. Let me see my eraser. So what I do is I combine Wyckoff with Elliott waves with divergences to see what, based off of what's being presented, what is the market getting ready to do, or what does the market want to do? Okay, so with this M15 right here, how I knew I had an idea that this was going to sell, because from this particular area, because number one, this is a redistribution. It is a supply zone, an area of interest where sellers have the opportunity to rejoin and take over the market. That's number one. Okay, it's a redistribution market price cycle. Number two, I see price created this divergence and we had a change of character right here, right? Now you see how the market came to this unmitigated, this engulfing candlestick, this unmitigated supply zone right here. By the time the market mitigated this area, which means touched, mitigation is just a fancy context clue word for touch. By the time the market touched this area, it was supposed to do what? This was supposed to be a lower high, and its job was supposed to do what? Break this last low and create a new low. But it didn't do that. Okay, it didn't do that. So it showed that what? This area right here was a smart money trap. That particular area was a smart money trap. All right. Smart money trap. So, which means, hey, it showed this engulfing candlestick showing that, hey, hey, we're about to sell. Getting these early sellers in here and then doing what? Boop, taking them back out. It's a smart money trap. All right. So now how I'm looking at it is, oh, okay. This was a reaccumulation, because now what happens is this. Price is doing this right here. Price is doing this. And now you have an engulfing candlestick protruding outside of this market price cycle, which means, hey, this is an accumulation and this is a reaccumulation. Okay, which means now I'm anticipating a bearish divergence. Once I see that bullish triangle, aka reaccumulation, I say, okay, cool, divergence is going to happen. Okay, but I don't know if it's going to be I don't know if it's going to, after price creates the change of character, after price creates the bearish change of character, I don't know if price is going to come back and mitigate that supply zone that caused a change of character. That's the only thing. So when I seen this, I knew the sellers have to come back in, because you have a reaccumulation, and the next market price cycle after a reaccumulation is a distribution. This is how the market prints: accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution. So if I the supply zone, right? So we go to the 4-hour time frame. The supply zone is right here. The supply zone is the what? Unmitigated bearish engulfing candlestick. So that's why you're seeing that zone like this. I had it zoned out like this on the 4-hour time frame. And so I said, okay, now that I see that on the M15, right, I see that price has created this accumulation, reaccumulation. This right here is a smart money trap. Supply zone, got early sellers in, and then boom, took them out. Stop loss got hit. Liquidity. Bam. There's a divergence. You can't see it on the M15, but you can probably see it on the M5. But this inducement right here is showing you that the buyers are still in control. Build up, inducement, bam, broke this structure, this low, broke this structure, broke this old high, create a new one. Sellers got to come in. Bam. Took a buy side liquidity, and then bam, shot down and was gone and took off. You got to understand how market prints to be able to avoid the pitfalls and the traps. So, like, divergences tell a story. You got to realize that once price created this bullish divergence and it changed character, and it never came back to mitigate a demand zone. It never came back to create a higher low, which means this just told on itself. It just snitched on itself and said, hey, this is a complex pullback. This is a retracement to continue for a sale. This is just this bullish move right here going up. Is just short term. It's just a retracement to create a lower high to then do what? Break this old low and create new lows. It told on itself by the way it printed. So, any questions, problems, or concerns? So the market tells on itself. We just gotta be patient for it to let it develop. It's gonna tell you what it wants to do. It's gonna tell you what it wants to do. So I was attempting to sell right here, but I had my stop loss too tough. I had my stop loss too tight and too snug. And all this happened. And I was actually shooting for my overall take profit was this demand zone right here. Was this demand zone? Because guess what? I knew this demand zone was at least going to get mitigated, but I wasn't certain if it was going to do what? Break this old low and create a new low. But here's the deal. The market told on itself once again, because this right here is a divergence and a change of character. And now you have this big, gigantic imbalance. And it decided to go touch a supply zone before coming back and hitting a demand zone. So it gave itself away saying, hey, we're not ready to go bullish just yet. We're not ready to change trend just yet. Does that make sense? That's how you have to view the market. You're going to have these divergences that do not come back to mitigate the imbalance that caused the change of character. This is a divergence, change of character, and price went straight to a supply zone because it did not want to change trend. It did not want to change trend just yet. All right. So now let's make an update on Bitcoin. Let's make an update. So we have this lower high right here, unmitigated supply zone right here. Okay. That's simply a area of interest where the sellers can take over the market. Area of interest where the sellers can take over the market. So what I'm looking at and seeing, let's see. All right. I see all of this being together. Okay, price did this. So, okay, all this liquidity took that out. So this is a breaker structure right here. tapped into a supply zone. So we have this right here, tapping into this. Okay, supply zone. All right, so lower high, break a structure, return, created that low, popped up this lower high, broke this low, created a new low. So now we need to look to the left to see we have any significant demand zone that can stop this selling pressure. So you have demand zones in between, all in here on the 4-hour time frame. You have this is one right here. This is a valid demand zone. This is just the overall day. I believe I had that on a daily. This is the overall daily. Uh, yeah, this is the overall daily demand zone right here. But you also have smaller demand zones in between that have an opportunity to give that market a pushback. So we have to take that into consideration. We just can't say, "Oh yeah, it's definitely going here." No, 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 no. So bam, 4-hour time frame. We see we have a demand zone right here. You see how price created this divergence, price changed character, found a demand zone right here, price created that low and popped up and broke the structure. So right here is a valid demand zone because this is an area of interest that did what? It refilled an imbalance and it popped up and it broke the structure. So right here is a break of structure on the 4-hour. All right, so we need to take this into consideration. Okay, can't ignore it. And we draw this all the way across like this. Bam. And we mark it as an H4 demand zone. Bam. All right. Because price may want to go bullish off of that particular area. We have a reaccumulation right here. Seems like price is maybe pushing past that. Let me look on the daily. What are we looking like? Yeah, I think it may use it as liquidity. Let me see. But that's definitely a demand zone worth looking at. All right. This may just be liquidity. Mark this as price is doing this and it broke out. All right. So let me see what price wants to do now. Let me go to the H1 and catch all these moves. Check this out. Let's see. Okay, came back, respected this, lower high, broke structure right here, H1. So now you got an unmitigated engulfing candlestick right on the H1. So let's see what's happening on the M30 and M15. Let's see what's up. So now we have price probably creating a divergence right here, changing character and not going back to the supplies on the cause of change of character. That's what I'm seeing. Like an M5 divergence. Yeah. All right, now here's the deal. Because price diverged right here and changed character, right? It went immediately to a supply zone right here. The smaller supply zone right here. All right. Oops. Put M5 supply zone. All right. Went straight to that supply zone, diverged, changed character right here. And it left after the change of character, it left the supply zone open. So now what do? We look towards this unmitigated engulfing candlestick as the possible area of interest where the buyers may be interested in pushing this thing back. That's possible. but we must get a lower time frame confirmation to see if the buyers want to come in and take over. There ain't no guessing game. We got to see evidence. Got to have evidence. So, okay, what do I see right now? All right, what do I see right now? Here's the deal. It's several things, okay? I know this is a divergence, a bullish divergence, and this right here is the change of character area. Without even looking at the RSI, I'll show you when I pop it up. Okay, this is the change of character area. All right, so change of character above. Okay, that's number one. Now I noticed that after this change of character, after price breaks up above this old high, that it goes straight to a supply zone. So now I do what? As far as right now, I abort the buy. I abort looking for buys because it went straight to a supply zone. Now here's the deal. Price diverged right here and created a bearish change of character, right? But here's the deal. Here's the deal. After this bearish change of character, price did not come back to the supply zone that caused the change of character. So guess what? Now I abort looking for sales. I abort looking for sales now because I have to stay in tune with the market and listen to the market and what the market is telling me. Okay. So look at this. Bam. You can see how price is slanting lower from this low to here. And in the same exact area on the RSI, it's slanting upward. Not quite. You can't really see it on the M5, but I can show you on the M1. Watch. So on M1, you can see the divergence right here. Doom. Divergence. All right. And then from here to here. Bam. Look where the change of character is at. Right where I told you at. Right here. Right. So now that this made the official change of character, I know that, hey, this is a reaccumulation in between here. This is the first area of interest where price has the opportunity to go bullish from. All right. Now, if price doesn't want to go bullish from that, then guess what? We have a 1 minute. We have an M1 demand zone right here that price may want to come down here and mitigate this. Okay. And go bullish off of it. So you probably ask me, hey, what do? You sit there and just wait? Yeah. Or I set alerts. If I have to go do something else, switch my attention to something else, then I set my alerts, put my horizontal ray right there, and the market would notify me when the candlestick hit that certain price number, and I'll just patiently wait for my confirmations. And if not, we abort. As simple as that. We abort. Now, what's supposed to happen is this, because price smacked the supply zone and it's acting as a lower high. This lower high right here is supposed to do what? Go down, break the old low, and create new lows. That's what's supposed to happen. But guess what? That's not always 100% effective all the time. So guess what? The buyers have an opportunity right here at this reaccumulation demand zone, and right here at this other low that has as 1 minute OB, they have opportunities to prevent this low from being broken. They have opportunities. Will it be successful? I don't know. But what you don't do is, oh, I'm going to hop in for a sale right now and chase the sale. No, you missed the sale. Now you wait on the buy. That's what happens. Exactly what happens. So you see how when let's go on the M1. So you see how when price officially changed character right here, created this low, it didn't come back to this supply zone. It came back to this particular one right here. Came back to this one right here. So then, boom, 1 minute supply zone. And guess what? This right here is an internal. This makes this internal. No. Well, technically it's external. It's external because it's on the outside. Right? So this is a M1 breaker structure. So I'm mark it as 1 minute breaker structure below. Like that. And so you see how nothing else, when price broke this low, nothing else came back to mitigate these supply zones. So now I'm looking at this as a redistribution, lower high, because it's a distribution. It breaks the low. You got your redistribution. So now I'm expecting some type of accumulation, whether it be off of the zone that it's currently in, or this out of this reaccumulation, or out of this accumulation right here, this imbalance right here, either or. But that's what I'm anticipating now, because I see this being a some type of form of fashion of a redistribution right here. So now I'm expecting an accumulation. I don't know where it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But that's going to be my time for now. I'll keep you all updated. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to what I have to say. It is always greatly appreciated. I never ever take it for granted. Have a safe, blessed, productive rest of your fantastic Friday. Know that I love you. And as I always like to say, God created us on purpose to fulfill a purpose. So what purpose are you willing to fulfill? And I always remember, don't be one of many, be the one. I'll see you all live tomorrow for Weekly Trade Watch List. Let's go.